Just doing our little weekly check-in. You can see here we're getting close to that point of only really having about 2 weeks left, but some unfortunate news as we were pulling up to this house. All right, so we're heading out of shade. We were just doing our little weekly check-in. Some unfortunate news as we were pulling up to this house. There was a county vehicle pulling up with some flashing lights. I thought it might be the roofing permit. That was not the case. Right there, that was the reason. We've got a stop work order, so that's something we're gonna have to get worked out, and we'll talk you guys through that, but we're gonna have to get our GC to come here, apply for a permit, pay some penalties, and take it from there. But we're gonna keep moving on. We got a couple other properties we gotta check out today, so we're gonna get up to those and see if we can't get those listed and up on the market soon. So talk to you guys soon. All right, we're back in the office, recapping what just happened, which was we just went to South Venice to check on our rehab, and as we pulled up to the property, the county showed up to give us a stop work order. I was getting happy because I thought they were delivering us our permit to get started on the roof. Unfortunately, that was not the case. The lady that was delivering it was super friendly. She explained to us that it was a pretty simple permit that we did have to go apply for the installation of a window going in on the side of this carport that at one point got converted over into a bedroom. So this is a 3-bedroom, 2-bath house. Property appraiser shows that it was a 2-bedroom, 2-bath, but there was an enclosed carport done at one point in the past. Not by us, but in the past. And this bedroom feels like a dungeon in it because there was just no lighting whatsoever besides whatever light you plugged in. So that was something that we needed to get done, was added a window, and the crew that was doing this work here did get flagged for that. So I had to call up my general contractor right away, let him know I was going to be sending him a picture of the stop work order along with some pictures of the work that did get done there. The good thing is my general contractor that will handle this is also the same guy who's going to be taking on the roof. So he is already going to be somewhat familiar with the property. So the downside could potentially be time. Probably at a point now where we're looking like maybe 2 to 3 weeks tops to get this property finished. We need to make sure that we get this permit issued and closed out immediately. We don't want this to dwell. We don't want the window to be sitting there exposed. They can't finish doing the framing or finish any of the work on the actual wall on the inside of that room until we go get this window inspected after the permit's issued. And on top of that, there are going to be some costs with this. Well, now we're going to have to pay 3 times that. So what that means is that $250 original permit cost is now going to end up being closer to $1,000 plus the cost, labor, and charges we're going to get from our GC, who's going to have to go apply for the permit and make sure the whole thing is facilitated and gets handled correctly. So that's his time as well. So there's a good chance this could end up being about a $2,000 hiccup. Lesson learned there, you know, when you have something minor like that, you could avoid potential long-term issues by just getting the permit done right away, don't risk it. It's up to you. That's your choice, and it just so happens to be that on this property, it didn't work out in our favor. You know, normally we're pulling permits for things. Sometimes something gets missed. Sometimes we don't know that some specifically needs a permit. But at the end of the day, we should have had that permit pulled on that so that this did not happen to us, and now we've got a question mark and some extra costs. And I say a question mark because we don't know how long it could take to get this resolved. All right, so we just got off the phone with a potential seller here. Well, I'm not gonna say potential, they are a seller because they called me back January 23rd, and we're still talking here at the very beginning of March. One of the brothers is finally coming down here this week to check out the apartment, see the condition, and show it to a couple people, and I'm one of those people. And they're gonna get an offer price from me, and we're gonna see if we can't get ourselves another rehab deal. This one's a little bit more unique. It's actually a 1-bedroom apartment. It is a very low entry-level price point. Should be able to pick up this property somewhere around the $30,000 price point. It should be worth probably somewhere between $75,000 and $80,000. Being a 1-bedroom, being small square footage, that means the rehab cost should be pretty minimal. Even if we just calculate flooring, a bathroom, and a kitchen, we're gonna probably be somewhere around $15,000 for the repairs. So if we can make those numbers work, this could be just a quick, simple deal that finds us a cash buyer. Especially an apartment or a condo and it's priced $100,000 or less, it becomes a little bit more challenging to find yourself a lender who will lend on that small of a number, especially when it's not a single family home. A property that's a condominium, those are traditionally a little bit harder to get loans on. But anyways, we gotta get over to this other house. We gotta check it out because it's 3:30 and the day ain't over. And we're gonna keep moving on with our day. Thanks for watching. Stay tuned. I think I mentioned that just the other day where this lead came from and some of those details, but I was literally around the corner. I was 5 minutes from this property. I hadn't been able to reach the seller who is just getting to town as of yesterday, and he was supposed to be reaching out and I hadn't heard from him. So I don't know if he already has another buyer or what, but I was here, and when you're out there trying to make some money and make things happen, you're gonna go do what others don't do. And what that meant was climbing the stairs and go knocking on the door of the unit. I know no one's living there, but doesn't mean he doesn't happen to be there at this second. He wasn't. What do we have going on right now? What don't we have going on? We're in the process of hopefully getting a contract put together on our 18th Avenue Drive West property, the one that has gone in and out of a few contracts. They sent us an offer. We countered with only a difference of a couple $1,000s back to them, and we'll see if we can't get that together. We have a property on another property on an 18th, a different one, in 18th Street, and that property was supposed to be closing here at the end of the month, but the tenant already got out of that property, so the seller is ready to close, and we're gonna buy this one. We're gonna immediately throw it right back on the MLS for about $30,000 more than what we paid. See if we can't find a quick buyer. Otherwise, we'll remove it. We'll throw $10,000 or less into the property, relist it for probably $40,000, $50,000 over what we paid for it, and we'll see how that one goes. So we're here, we're at our newest acquisition, which is gonna be a rehab. We're up here in our favorite zip code, 34205 up in Bradenton, and we just got done meeting with one of our rehabbers, and we're doing this project a little bit different. We're kind of doing, I'm not gonna call it a prehab, but we're gonna do a light rehab. And I shouldn't say light because there's a lot of detail, a lot of little items, but we're not gonna be doing things as crazy as replacing floors. We're really just gonna remove some popcorn ceiling, retexture the ceiling, which is actually only in a couple rooms. We're gonna leave the kitchen, which I'll show you our kitchen here. It's not as updated as we normally would do. My guy even wanted to paint the cabinets. I told him, let's just hold off. Let's keep the Formica counters. Let's keep that wood look cabinet because it goes with the tile. It's gonna go with the Parisian taupe walls that we do and the white trim. And it's also one of those items that it's easy to replace those countertops and maybe just throw some granite on the kitchen should his bid come in at a price where it makes sense for us to do it. I'd like to really stay around $20,000 for the rehab on this place. And I already got one bid, and the bid was close to $23,000, and that's a little bit more than I wanted to spend on this property. But I get it, it's a lot of little details. But we're talking paint on the inside, paint on the outside, new 6-panel doors throughout the property, cleaning up a few things in the bathroom, like this master bathroom, for instance. So this master bathroom, it's actually not that bad, and I apologize for that open toilet. So we can keep the toilet. We're gonna replace that mirror, do something a little bigger, a little more modern. We're gonna replace the windows in both bathrooms, being that those are that slatted style. I don't know about you, but I personally would not want a window like that in my bathroom where anybody can enter by lifting one of those up. We're gonna replace that light fixture. We're gonna keep the tile in here. And for the most part, it'll be nice and clean. There's a nice size walk-in closet here. We'll do some nice 6-panel doors. We're gonna leave this crazy bookshelf thing that's there. We'll do new blinds. And it's a big cleanup. It's just a big cleanup job. Let me show you the guest bathroom here real quick. So here's our guest bathroom. Again, we got a vanity that's in decent shape, a little bit of a dated vanity top. If we do go with granite in the kitchen, we will match that granite with the vanity top. That toilet needs to have some caulk thrown around it, but overall that toilet's in decent shape. In here in the shower, we are gonna have to do some tile But the shower pan and everything, we don't know yet about that. And then there's some cracked tiles along the step-in right there as well. And we will get rid of that fan there. But yeah, let me take you guys outside. I'm just gonna show you guys what the outside of this house looks like. We're locking up. All right, so we are on a busy road up here in Bradenton. That's one reason why I don't want to put too much money into this property, because it's going to be about curb appeal here, and just walking in and seeing a decent sized house that's a 1920s house. But look at this thing. Check out this house. It's pretty standard. It's nice. We got a carport right over there where you can park the car. You got a nice screened in front porch area. And we are going to get the outside of this all cleaned up. And I'm actually going to not have my rehabber do that. I'm going to have a landscaper come out here and give me a bid just to clean this up. Heck, maybe I'll do it and I'll start a landscape company. We got to move on to right over there, a stone's throw away, because there is an inspection going on our 18th rehab. The one that's been, I don't know, it's had 80 showings. It's had 3 other contracts. So we're on our 4th contract now. And the inspection's happening. So I gotta bust my ass. I'm gonna get over there, make sure everybody's happy, and I'm gonna keep this deal together. All right, I'll keep you guys posted on this rehab. More to come. I'm excited. I always love it when it's time for a new rehab to get going. We did have a clean out happen here on Saturday. They cleaned it out for the most part. There is a little bit of furniture that got left inside, but we'll get that all taken care of. And it's time to rock and roll here. All right, I'm trying to get out of Bradenton right now. We just left that inspection over at 18th, and I gotta say that it went awesome. These buyers are so excited about this house. They were pretty happy with what happened during the inspection, and they've basically stated a couple times they want to keep moving forward. Of course, they have not received the actual inspection report from the inspector. Sometimes you get results back in those that weren't really disclosed to you, so hopefully there's not a whole bunch in there that really scares them off. But it sounds like they're really stoked, they're excited, and they want to keep moving it forward. But on to other things. This property right behind me here, we close on this on Wednesday, so in 2 days. And it's a property we've had under contract for 2 months, since the beginning of January, and there was tenants in here, so we had to wait for them to get out. The tenants got out. The seller said he's ready to close. We got our survey, our lien search is done, and now we're just waiting on everyone to get together and sign this paperwork. So this is a 2-bedroom, 1 bath. It's a pretty tiny house. It's actually only about 750 square feet, I want to say. And we're probably going to just clean this up, pressure wash the outside, clean it. We already got our roof quote. Roof quote's like somewhere between $6,000 and $7,000 to get this whole roof done, so very low cost. We're gonna just list this thing right on the MLS right away and just see if we can't make an extra, you know, $10,000, $20,000 by just doing a quick sale and not actually doing a rehab on it. But when I walked through this house originally, I was just very impressed with all the major components in the house. It looked like the renter or the tenant just took super good care of this property and seemed to know what he was doing, because I guess he did a lot of this work. But there was like new supply lines under everything. The flooring felt solid. There is this is interesting, there's crawl space under this block home, and the whole house is block. Normally you just have stucco over wood frame when you have crawl space like that on a house, but that's not the case here, so it's really neat. You even got a little bit of some hurricane shutters right over there. But overall, just a very clean house. Soffit's in good shape. The main thing that needs to get done is a roof, but we're still gonna list it and just use that as a negotiating point where we can either get it done for somebody that wants to put a loan on this, or for a cash buyer, we just give them the actual estimate. I did throw a lockbox on here so that the seller can throw the key in there on the day of closing. But I'm gonna get out of here. It's time for dinner. It's been a long day. Till next time. Let's talk about this house. I just showed you guys the exterior the other day. I showed up to do my walkthrough. I thought I'd be able to poke through the blinds, just make sure everything was cleared out of the house and that we were good for our closing that was scheduled for yesterday, which was a Wednesday, middle of the week closing. Title companies love that, by the way. But I met the owner here, the seller. It was our first time meeting the day of closing, and I wasn't even attending closing because we do mail-aways. But he met me here. We were able to quickly walk through the house, It looked even better than when I saw it when the tenant had their stuff in here, which I thought it looked good to begin with. But good thing is they cleaned it out completely. Most times people clean these places out and there's still stuff in there. This place is super clean outside of the things that just need to get done, like paint, some new flooring in a couple rooms and things like that. But what we're gonna do is, it hasn't even been 24 hours since we closed on this. I showed up, I weed eated the yard, I got my blower and I cleaned off everything on the outside. I made sure it was nice and edged so that you can see most of the exterior, and just tightened everything up on the outside. That when you first pull up, it's just a clean looking house. Then I came in here, I made sure inside there wasn't any trash, which I told you it was already cleaned out. And now what I'm gonna do is I'll walk you guys quickly through this house so you can see what a 2-bedroom, 1-bath, 700 square foot house looks like. But it's a solid house. You got your main living room, you got your kitchen, which I love this setup. This is a resilient kitchen. This house is a good tenant, or I should say this is a good landlord type property. It's block. It's small. You only have 1 bathroom, meaning less maintenance for plumbing type items. And you can tell that the previous tenant took care of everything. The plumbing under the kitchen here, the plumbing in the bathroom, it's new supply lines. You can tell things were just done right here. It's got a 200 amp electric panel, which is newer. It does have an older hot water heater. It has a very old air conditioner. They actually might be around the same age, but they're both still working. The roof, end of life. There are no active leaks right now, but still, it's an older roof. And we did have a bid for the roof in case we need to use that to negotiate. Maybe somebody can't buy it without a new roof. That way we can actually get that work done if needed. But we're gonna try and sell this property that would produce the same profit as if we put money into it. So ideally we're looking for that cash buyer for this property so that we don't have to do a bunch of things to meet the requirements or the guidelines of a loan and what their appraiser or the 4-point inspection might require. So for at least a week, we're gonna look for a cash buyer. If we don't get that, we'll probably pull it off the market, do a couple little things to this property, and then list it for maybe another 15,000 more. But we picked the property up for 100,000. I'm gonna probably list it for right around 135, maybe a little bit higher. We'll see. If we can't get that price, we're gonna do the roof. We'll do some basic cleanup in here, maybe replace the carpet in the living and the bedrooms, and just fix any kind of like wood rot type areas and just make sure it's all tight. You know, there's fixtures in all the rooms, etc. So let me walk you guys through so you can see what I'm talking about and why we need some of those things potentially. All right, so we're walking into what is a carport area. This one is screened in, so you have screen over here. You got this area here. It's not really enough room for a car. And then you have the entrance into the house right over here. Right over here on this side, on the other side of the screen, is where there is a covered carport, which is nice. There's also this pretty rusted out storage shed sitting right over there. And this is where we have our utility room. There's that somewhat older hot water heater I was just mentioning to you guys. But you can see, it does have this. Normally this is supposed to terminate about 6 inches from the ground. And the way that they have this wired in right now is not to code. Typically this needs to be going into its own disconnect box and it should not be getting plugged in like that. So that's it. I need to get out of here. I've probably spent a good 2 hours here just doing everything. Clean up, pictures, video. So I'm gonna get out of here. I'm gonna make sure it's all nice and tight, get my lockbox on, make sure my guy comes and changes the locks today so that we can start showings here in about 24 hours. But hope you guys enjoyed this little tour and time to move onward. We're wrapping up the week down here in Venice, and I had to come drop in and check out what's going on with the roof. The tear off just started happening yesterday. Feels like it's been a minute since we got the green light to start this and actually had some work begin. And I'm a little disappointed to show up on a Friday. It is around lunchtime, so maybe everyone's just at lunch. I'm not sure about that. But we only have about half this roof torn off, and it got started yesterday. We got stuff all on the ground here. I'm guessing this is gonna be a lot of the decking. I was told that the 3/8 that's on the roof right now is not to code, but they can put another 3/8 of decking over top of it. Obviously right now, lumber is at a premium. So a single sheet of plywood, I believe with my contractor's discount, he's getting that for around $30 a sheet. So to hear that none of the decking on there was good and that the original bid included about 10 sheets of plywood, and now we're looking at, I think he said 75 sheets, which sounds crazy to me when I hear that number, but when you look at a roof and the size of a sheet, that can make sense. But I have a feeling that's what's over here right now. What we got over here is a bunch of tear off. Remember, this was is a gravel roof, so there's a lot more tear off that goes into it. But let's just walk around the perimeter right now and see what we got. Obviously, we need to watch where we step. This is going to be quite the cleanup to have to deal with. Hey, we're back at it. It's a new week and we're rolling. We're at our 17th Ave West Rehab, our one right over by the water tower, and we're walking in the front door. We're just doing a little spot check today. I know our crews got started 2 days ago. It's Wednesday, so they got started on Monday, so I'm just getting my rounds going. We are walking through. I expected it to be what it is right now, which is mostly all demo. Usually that first day or two is really just getting everything ready to rock and roll, and that's what we got. So let's turn this around and do a quick little walkthrough. So we did decide, we had a nice bid on this property right around $15,000, and for that $15,000 we're going to be replacing the laminate over top of these cabinets that we are going to keep in the kitchen. So we're going to end up with just some new granite in the kitchen, which will help pop it, along with some new appliances. We are keeping the floor throughout this property. Because it is tile, I'm gonna end up paying another company to come in and do a real deep grout clean once everything's wrapped up here. So I'm gonna just make sure that's all timed perfectly. We're going down the hallway, and nice thing is we got a master straight ahead. We got another bedroom right here. Nice sized bedrooms, good condition. Nice large closet. Here is our first guest bathroom. Make sure we got 6 panel doors throughout the house. So we had to get one right there. Weird thing is that is the only attic access that I am aware of. And I'm pretty sure the last time I showed you guys this place, there might have still been some junk in here from prior to the clean out. But this is the large walk-in closet. You can see it's really nice size. It has a window inside the closet, which is always somewhat weird. Air conditioner is good. We are gonna have to get a new supply drop done into one of the rooms. And then we do have one other room out here. This is our sunroom right back here through these double doors. And we come through here. There are just a whole bunch of electric that was running along the walls in here that was obviously not to code, probably not legal, and a risk, or I should say a hazard. So you'll see you got a junction box right up here, but we got just plain wires running to outlets down here, up there. It's nice to have all these, but if the wiring isn't in conduit, it can't be here. So that's something we're having to just rip a bunch of this out. And what we do decide to keep, we're gonna make sure that that's put in conduit so that there are no hazards. Head down, we have somebody pitching us a property down in the Sarasota area, down in Newtown Estates. It is quite a project, it looks like. It looks like it was a hoarder house. It is stuffed to the brim with stuff, and our appointment's at 1 o'clock, so we're gonna start heading back down to Sarasota and go see if we can't find ourselves another rehab to get going. As promised, we're at Shade. We're doing our quick walk through here. Pretty exciting. Just want to show you guys a few things. I just showed you guys what this kitchen is looking like. Again, we got those gray cabinets with the quartz counters and the stainless steel appliance package. No idea why my rehabber has told me that it's granite counters. I know what granite looks like and I know what quartz looks like, and I don't know. You guys give me your opinion. What are we looking at here? Granite or quartz? But what our problem is the exterior of this house. It is a disaster. I'm not happy at all right now. You know, you always want to keep your calm. Everything is fixable. And we ended up getting a courtesy notice from the county saying, come clean up your crap. And we got to get a hold of this roofer and let him know that by, you know, tomorrow, if not right this second, we need this fixed and cleaned up. Otherwise, we're going to have to hire somebody to come in here with a dumpster and clean this out. So we're going to head outside where you can see that there is a 10-yard dumpster out here. And I know I've said it, it's one that I decided to hold on to after thinking we were just going to do a quick flip, meaning clean it up and throw it right back on the market. The more I looked at it, the more I realized that this met the same criteria as the last single family rental that I picked up that nets me probably close somewhere between $350 and $400 a month. And it's a single family home. It's a 2-1, similar size, smaller square footage, you know, easy to maintain because you have a bathroom and a kitchen that back up to each other. This house actually has some crawl space even though it's block, which is rare, and I love that. But anyways, I just wanted to show you this house has cypress wood paneling, trim, and panel throughout a lot of the house, which I was able to keep. But I just wanted to walk you guys through quickly so you can see what just a little bit of paint can do to a place. So the walls are now this color. Here, let's see what color it is. I got it right here, sitting there. Riverdale in a satin. We were able to keep that fan. You can see we've ripped out the carpet. We left the tack strip and the padding in place. You got these cypress walls that are really durable. And you can see the bedrooms. We got rid of the multicolors. You had one of these rooms, it was like a teal or a bluish before. And we just did this Riverdale color throughout, which is it's a nice color. I don't think I would do a large house on the inside this color, as it's, I don't know, it's kind of a mix between a green and an aqua. It turned out okay though. I picked the color out just through the Project Color Home Depot app, so sometimes you don't know 100% what you're gonna get. Not always the best thing to do, but this was a small rental that I knew that color would contrast well with all this brown paneling. So you can see all we had to do is really paint this place. It's in overall good condition. You got a tile in the hallway and wet area here along with the kitchen. Actually the kitchen, I'm sorry, has a laminate. Just wanted to give you guys a quick little walkthrough showing you guys what this rental is starting to look like. We're probably going to get this thing photographed here the next time we come out and start working on finding some tenants as we wait on the carpet to get installed. All right.